All right, I'm making some more Tzatziki sauce. I wanted to, while I'm doing this, I wanted to talk about the last couple videos that What If Alt Hist made, and because they both had the theme that the current social structure that we have right now doesn't really give an adequate amount of attention to people's psychological needs. And because the last one he did was on the Unabomber, who obviously was a terrorist who thought that technology was creating this oppressive social structure that was essentially destroying individual freedom in the areas where he thought it mattered the most. And I do think that the Unabomber had some good points, even though obviously I don't condone what he did, but he did have some good points. He also, I think, had some really dumb points. And then What If Alt Hist did another one, which is titled "Stop Coping Your Life," or "Your Life Sucks, Stop Coping." That was the title of the video, and it was pretty much what it sounds like. Here, let me put my phone down. If anyone's curious about what I'm doing here, let's see. So, right here, you can see, that's, god damn it, okay, so there's the garlic, there's some cucumbers, that's dill, and there's a lemon right there, and, right here, I, got myself some yogurt. So, and I'm gonna start, let's see, and I forgot my measuring cup. So, I think that What If Alt Hist is making some good points, especially about, the system kind of does squeeze out your ability to be who you are, and I think I find the case, I think I agree that being more in touch with nature does help you to rediscover those parts of yourself that are just hard to get in touch with when it's like you're going to work, you're working to make you're working to help someone else make money, then you come home, you go on your phone, and, you screw off on your phone all night, and you don't really do much, and you lose yourself when you do that. And I have found that when I spend time in nature, or even going outside and just being in the presence of, even going to the beach, looking out at the ocean, or looking out at, I don't really live near the ocean, but I do live near a large body of water, and that helps me, get in touch with my emotions, and it helps me rediscover who I am. And let's see. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna do 2 cups of this. So pouring the yogurt right now. But yeah, so I'll just leave that over here. So on that topic, I think that What If Alt Hist is making some really solid points, and I think that Ted Kaczynski in his manifesto also makes some good arguments that are rooted in some of Nietzsche's ideas. Essentially, what he's saying is that humans have a need for something called the power process, which is related to the will to power, and it's associated with attainment of goals. And I do actually have some of my own philosophical theories about goals, which that stuff's based off of Aristotle and sort of trying to fit some Eastern-style meditation practices, reconcile some ideas within an Aristotelian worldview that, they kind of come into tension. And so I've got my own philosophical theories around goals. And I give credit to Aristotle and, I guess to the Buddha, to Lao Tzu, for the other side of the equation is kind of how you have to reconcile Aristotle's ideas with that. So, and I've also watched a little bit of, there's a YouTube lecture on time management that I watched part of a little while ago, which I actually need to finish that. So was the point I was trying to make. So essentially, Ted Kaczynski had this idea of the power process, which is related to the will to power, and his thesis was that humans have a need to go through the power process, and that we're meant to do that in harmony with nature, and that technology essentially disrupts that. And the problem with Ted Kaczynski's argument is that, and this is actually the main point I want to make, and this is the counterpoint to the points that What If Alt Hist has been making. So a lot of the times you'll hear people, who are very very negative towards materialism, and materialism I would say has disadvantages, I guess. Ancient religions tend to teach that materialism is something that should be overcome in favor of finding, I guess, spiritual self-realization. And so that's fine. If you want to take that position, that's fine. But Nietzsche's whole thesis behind his, a lot of his philosophy is that people sometimes make bad moral arguments because they conflate, they see people who act a certain way because they're unable, or they act a certain way because they're unable to do something that you might consider evil because of their own weakness, or more broadly, I would say, their own self-inhibiting vices, which keeps them from doing the bad thing. And people equate that with actually being moral, and Nietzsche's point was, no, that's not, that doesn't make you better than the person who actually did the bad thing. It just means that I need to chop that cucumber up smaller. So the way this stuff works, you want to have the cucumbers chopped up really small, so that they kind of blend into the sauce. But yeah, so let's see. So I was making the point that so self-inhibiting vices that keep you from acting the same way as someone who we might consider evil do not actually make you better than that person. In fact, they technically make you worse, because if you didn't have those self-inhibiting vices, you would actually be you would actually have more positive qualities that you don't actually have. So it's actually a good thing if you can generally have the right intentions, and on top of that, you overcome your self-inhibiting vices so that you might theoretically be capable of doing the here, look at me, I'm dropping cucumbers into yogurt. So and I dropped a cucumber. So you're theoretically capable of doing the evil thing, but then you use it. You use your ability to theoretically be evil to essentially explore new creative potential, so that you can become someone who's sort of evolved past the traditional mold. And Nietzsche saw that as a good thing. And if you apply his arguments more broadly, it's also fallacious to say that someone who, you look at somebody like Jeff Bezos, who is a rich guy who kind of acts like a douche, and I think that Jesus would have condemned his behavior. I think the Buddha would have condemned his behavior. Because he treats his employees like crap, and I've heard stories, and plus there's accounts of, like, employees who are out driving, delivering packages, having to take a crap in a paper bag on the route because they can't stop to use the bathroom or they'll get fired. So, really not a great guy. But you could also imagine somebody who might have the same sorts of misanthropic tendencies as Jeff Bezos and maybe wants to, have a bunch of employees who are essentially slaves who make all your money so you can go live on a yacht somewhere. But they don't have the ability to do that because they don't have any money, and the reason they don't have any money is because they're lazy. That person is not superior to Jeff Bezos. And the flip side of that is, what if you're a good person, you're a good Christian or a good Buddhist or, whatever spiritual path you want to follow, and it's made you a good person, and then you learn to not be lazy. You learn to do what Jeff Bezos has done, which is act selfishly in pursuit of wealth. Well, is there anything good about acting selfishly in pursuit of wealth? And the answer is yes. Capitalism is based on the idea that you create wealth by having people act in their own self-interest. You expect everyone to work hard, and they build up their own, they're acting in pursuit of their own material well-being, and, maybe, you got a lot of money and you can go buy that yacht. And because you want to buy that yacht, you put the effort in to increase your company's profits, and so you got more money, you can go buy a yacht. And in the process, in order to do that, you have to create a product or service that people want to buy. And so you're creating a product or service that people want, you're increasing the supply of that product and service, probably lowering the price, probably allowing more people who otherwise would not be able to obtain it. And that, objectively, is a net positive. So this idea that the person who's non-materialistic because they're lazy and someone who's, just, let's say somebody who just doesn't have your same work ethic, or they're trying to follow a path that they think is moral because they're trying to emulate the person who is lazy and doesn't want to work, so they're poor, so they can't do what Jeff Bezos does, but that doesn't mean that they're actually morally any better than Jeff Bezos. So you have added value to society by working hard and working hard with your own self-interest in mind. And that's not a negative thing, and in fact, and What If Alt Hist has even made some allusions to this in his, and see, so now I've added the dill to the sauce that I'm preparing. Now I'm squeezing the lemon in, if anyone's interested. Alright. Add a lot of lemon juice. Stick that there for now. So something What If Alt Hist mentioned in his last video is, you're a young man, you're growing up, you're going to school, and the school's not supporting your desire to pursue greatness, and your female family members don't understand why this is something that you'd be complaining about. They don't understand the masculine drive to pursue excellence and to have ambition, and that it... so he's making that point. The thing is, what's the social system that's actually going to allow you to realize that ambition? Well, it's capitalism. It's, under a socialist system, you have to everyone has to be pulled down to benefit the people who let's say aren't able to make it, but you're keeping people from creating the wealth that they could be creating by acting selfishly in pursuit of their own profit motive. And you have to control people. You have to control the process of wealth creation. So, and that means frustrating people's ambitions. So that's what happens under socialism. And within capitalism, I think that I want to see everyone rise to their highest potential, do the best that they can, maximize their own achievement in life, and bring what they have to offer to the world, whatever that is. And it might not be equal for everybody. I don't believe in equality of outcome. But it can, I think that it is genuinely inhumane to not want to maximize the potential, or to have a social structure that prevents anyone from maximizing their potential. And I think that is an extremely important point that I am afraid, if we focus too much on, materialism is bad, and it should all just be about, and I 100% agree on that, there are things that matter outside of the purely materialistic realm. Relationships matter. That's actually, that's also an extremely important point. People need to have good relationships. And I think that we do need to discover a deeper spiritual connection, which is missing in modern society. But we cannot forget the other side of the equation, which is the materialistic values that do actually give people in the modern era a significant ability to maximize their achievement and be the best that they can be. And that's the point that I wanted to make with this video. And I finished making my tzatziki sauce, so I'm going to pour it, and I'm going to enjoy this with some pita chips that I got from Safeway. So, alright, I'll see you guys later.